Hi everyone, it's Plastic EP from Melbourne, Australia, and I've got Pat Graham coming in from the UK. He's a super Beetle collector. Now here in Canberra, right, which is our capital of Australia, I want to wish a warm welcome to Dallas Atkins. How are you today, Dallas?
All good, buddy. Rocking well. I got my greatest outfit on. All ready to go. Yep.
Now I just want to say, just for you, I'm wearing my Beatles t-shirt, and our friend Leslie Cavendish out there was the Beatles hairdresser right from 1966, and he actually cut their hair for that. So that's really good too. Now you've got an amazing Beatles collection that you may be selling, or you're selling the whole lot in one go if you can. That's one option. So just tell everybody what you hope to do with the collection and just show us some of the stuff you got, Dallas.
My life with the Beatles started from the Beatles cartoon back in '68. As a little boy going to primary school, just before I'd go to catch the bus, I wanted to see the cartoon. I didn't know they were a real band. I just thought it was a cartoon. But the music was fun. The girls were screaming. And Ringo come out, oh prop man, yes, what can I do for you? And it was funny.
If you don't know the words, just sing, yeah, 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 but with gusto. All right now, prop man, you cold? Yes, now look, this next sing-along number is a real torch song. So I'd like you to bring out some appropriate props to put the people in the right mood, right? A torch song? I've got just the thing. Now, folks, while Ringo's off getting the proper paraphernalia for this number, the Statue of Liberty? Well, you said it was a torch song, didn't you? Yeah.
And then 3 years later, Hey Hey It's Saturday, you know that one, it started doing the same thing. So I'm going, who is this band? What are they? And I had to go out and find out. And my very first album I ever bought, the Essential Beatles. This is an Australian-made one. And this is the first time I ever heard the Beatles music in full because the cartoons were edited. You never heard the full song. And so this was actually from Love Me Do all the way down to Let It Be. So it was like you felt the change in music. That the cartoon and this is what won me. And then I've started finding out, hey, you can get chewing gum cards and you can get lunch boxes and get all this other stuff. And it wasn't until a few years later I found out that they actually broke up in '71. And I'm going, what's this all about? I'm going for a band that doesn't exist anymore. But the stuff that does exist is things like this from a Shell service station.
That's it.
But this one is from Queensland. So mobile service stations, they thought we can make a few extra bucks if we just get some things printed. And when Dad comes with the family to fill up the tank, offer these to the kids for I don't know how much they would have sold these for back then.
I just want to say, Dallas, I've got one and they were free. You got them for free when you bought your petrol.
You got them for free. I've got a good handful of the things from different states. Everyone got into it. You know, the Beatles made no money out of this stuff. Copyright issues were different back then. But this is another Australian thing. Yeah, it's just crazy. So I've got a huge collection. As I said before, a lot of it's in boxes. It's hard to get to because it was on display in a little town called Crookwell in our big shed. We had schools would come through and other things, people would come through and visit. But when COVID hit, it destroyed our shop that we were living from. And we just had to sell up and move to an apartment. That's all we could afford. We haven't even got a car. We couldn't afford it. So it's all been in boxes. And so for me to sit here and go, look at this is hard. I've got things and I can tell you what they are. But it'd be great to sell the whole lot in one go. I do have a lot of people waiting for certain things. Oh, I've got this, I've got that. I just need that one more item. But I can't break up the four of whatever it is to satisfy your missing piece. I'd rather sell the whole lot in one go. It's like if someone had this collection of stamps and said, I'm missing George. Can I get the George one? Well, then
That's
I'm
right.
missing George.
That's the Mac Robertson stamps from the chocolate, and they were put all over my high school, just so you know. That I mean, like, I know the Australian collectibles.
Hey, Plastic, what I want you to do, show those photos because I can't open up all the boxes. Let's see the photos. Come on, show those photos now.
That's amazing, isn't it, Paddy's collection, what you've seen on the photos?
Yeah, excellent.
Now, Dallas, I just want to ask you if you can tell us about 5 or 6 of your most valuable Beetle collectibles.
Okay, back in the early 80s, I went to a Beetle festival, and it was a fantastic time, and that's when I bought my first Beetle signatures. And all they had was George Harrison and Paul McCartney. They got them from a reporter who interviewed them in Australia in '64. And you remember those old autograph books, the orange, yellow things? They always just fell apart. They never stayed together. So he lost John and Ringo's. So where it ended up, who knows? They probably just rotted away. But I'd rather have 2 than none. So it's got the certificate and everything there. So I've got that. And they're in pretty good condition. And I've got the old talcum powder tin, and it's full of powder, but it doesn't. They never said what the ingredients were back then. So it could be asbestos for back then. And I've got the bubble bath. So there's the certificate, and
it's great.
They're in good nick, and it comes with a photo and explanation there about what it's all about. I always wonder why they only just made Ringo and Paul. Why didn't they make? What was wrong with John and George's bubble bar?
Well, I can tell you a bit of a story about that, Dallas.
Please do. I've never known.
The reason they were done in the USA, of course, by Colgate Palmolive, and originally Ringo and Paul were the most popular by far in the USA. And the same thing happened originally with the Revel models. I don't know if you've seen those, the little plastic band Revel models. Yes. They did Paul and Ringo in those originally, and then as they sold enough of them, because the Colgate Palmolive and the Revel models were done 65, 66, so they were coming towards the end of the touring days, and the popularity wasn't quite as there as it was in 64. And so they threw out the Ringo and Paul and never ended up doing George and John. And the Revel models, they were so popular as a band in the end that they did George and John about 6 months later from when they'd done Paul and Ringo. So Revel models, you got all 4. The Colgate, you only got 2, unfortunately.
That looks in very, very good condition. If we can just see that again.
They are very good condition.
I'd say excellent. Excellent.
Yeah,
I've never
ugly.
seen them like that.
They're ugly, but they're in good condition.
No.
Do they still have the bubble bath in them, or are they empty?
No, but I've actually got another bottle full of bubble bath. I could throw that in here. But yeah, there's 2 other dolls with the same thing. It's a Paul doll. They're the bendy ones.
Yeah.
And I've got 2 of them, and the rubber, they stopped making them, I'd say, very quickly, because they just degraded.
They do. They deteriorate, don't they?
And one's gone a bit black, and the other one isn't bad condition, but you can just feel if you touch it crumbling. So there must be a way I can save it. I was hoping a museum would be able to do something about them. But anyway, that I've got 2 of those, and I do find that they're hard to find, hard to get.
What other collectibles have you got, Dallas?
I've got the usual Remco ones with these are the hard body ones. These are copy boxes, not original boxes, but they're copy ones, and they look great on your wall or on your shelf or whatever. But they're in good condition. They've got all their instruments as well.
As I was growing up, I saw these dolls on someone's mantelpiece, and the story is people were spreading a rumor that if you actually cut their hair, they'd grow back, which isn't true. So a lot of people have wrecked the dolls. That's serious. Have you heard that, Dallas?
I haven't heard it, but it explains one of the John ones I've got. He looks demonic. It's all been cut weird. It doesn't look good. Not one of the ones in the boxes. One of the other. I've got another set that haven't got boxes, but it's a little bit scary the way it's been cut. So that's good to know. And I've got the ad for it. Woolies were promoting them.
Do you have a lot of stuff that's specific to what they sold in Australia, Dallas?
Yeah, I've got the mobile.
There was some handbags and stuff like that they did. That I've only seen in the US. In Australia or New Zealand.
Tell me
Okay,
about the
well-
Beetle dress. You got a Beetle dress because Pat knows
Oh,
about the
I
Beetle
haven't got that.
dresses.
Yeah, I've got that. I've got a picture of that here. I'd say a young girl couldn't afford the real dresses, so she pulled the curtains off a window
It made it.
and made that.
Yeah, we can see that perfect right there. So that's off
Yeah.
the curtain, Pat.
Yeah,
That is,
it's definitely a mini skirt because it's made for a teenager, mini skirt style. But yeah, I think it's quite lovely.
Me too. I think it looks great.
yeah.
So that was just sitting in a op shop in a plastic bag, and they didn't know what they had.
That's
Right.
great.
Then you've got so on the Australia side, I don't really think got too much on the Australia side. I did a lot of stuff from overseas, not knowing there were a lot of Australians. Well, there's not really a lot of Australian stuff, is it? Just certain things.
No. Yeah.
So you mentioned handbag. What was the handbag? I know nothing
There was
about
like
that.
a brown handbag with the 4 heads on, and there's a black handbag that had like a lithograph print on the that I've not seen anywhere else other than Australia and New Zealand. The brown handbag I have seen in the UK. Sorry, I have seen that, but it may be one of the many things that got exported from the UK to sell when the Beatles toured in '64. But there are some specific things there, like bracelets and jewellery that was done in Australia in '64 that wasn't done anywhere else. So I just wondered what you might have.
Well, I see. I've got a handful of brooches and necklaces and bracelets and jewelry and stuff with Beatles, but I never delve into it to see where they came from. I always thought just from England, brought over here, but some of them may be made here because they're pretty tinny. They weren't quality. It was very tin stuff, and they just stuck a picture.
Jewelry in the world, was it? It wasn't that.
No, like there's a lovely necklace. It's a square necklace with the so-called gold, just tin, but it looks like gold, folded over, and they've just stuck a four little sticker or something of the Beatles in there from the 60s. It's in great nick, but it's so light and tinny. I'm amazed it survived. So it could be what you're talking about. Back then, people just churning stuff out to make a name. We've got the usual Beetle brush.
Oh yeah, the brush.
That's great.
I've got 2 of them still in their box, in their bag packaging.
Yeah, that's great.
Whereas this one's in top nick. This one's faded a bit. Stacks of these tie pins that came out everywhere.
Oh yeah.
Just who wore tie? I don't know. I don't wear ties, but that one's the 4 heads and a guitar with heads and Ringo Starr. I've got a double Ringo Starr one.
Yeah.
Then I got a collection of these fellas.
Oh yeah, the Hong Kong nodders. Yeah.
They've got the full set just sitting here. You look at them closely, go, it looks nothing like them. But anyway. So,
the Hong Kong knockoffs, as we say.
Yeah, right. Yeah, cake toppers or something, weren't they? You stick them on the birthday cake or something like that.
Yeah.
And I found, going through the collection, I finally found something that had been missing, and it was this.
Oh, it's a birth certificate. Yeah.
The birth certificate. I've been looking for it. I've got the other 3 in framed. I could never find the right frame for this fella. This is George's one.
From the UK, I think those were, weren't they?
Yeah, they're from the UK. So okay. What about this sticky tape? Anyone for sticky tape?
Ah, the Philippines sticky tape. Yeah.
It's all full, and this is the funny one. I bought these from the Philippines, and they were in customs for about 3 months.
Not the paste, is it? Yeah.
Paste. They were testing each one to see if what was really inside.
Yeah.
Well, Pat's got so much of the stuff too. There's so many worldwide Super Beetle collectibles.
I've got the wig.
Oh yeah, you got the wig.
Yeah, that's a beauty. That
yeah,
one
hasn't got the heads. The heads are gone.
They've lost the heads, oh dear.
Yeah, lost the heads, but hey, I got the whole thing still in the bag there. It hasn't deteriorated or rotted away.
Yep.
which is
And I'm
nice.
sure you got the plastic one too. I had the plastic one.
Yep, I got the plastic one. It's just got a slight little split just here. Otherwise, it's in great nick.
Yeah, the only thing I've got to say is I saw it when it was for sale in 1964. But let me tell you, you wouldn't want to wear one of those on your head and go to a barbecue too close to the fire. I can tell you that.
You definitely sweat a lot. This thing I picked up, this Pixarama book.
Oh yeah. I've got that again. That was from the UK. Yeah.
So jacaranda lighting.
All right.
Cigarette lighter.
Yeah.
Still work.
Don't set your suit alight.
Yeah, this will go up. I've got
The Beatles fan. Yeah.
That's
Beatles
great.
fan.
I've never seen that.
I was told it was for. I've got another one here. Hold on. I was told that there was something to do with the concerts, so they'd sell these when it was too hot at the concert. So I don't know.
No, I reckon that would be right. Where else would you use it? Unless you're getting ready to pass out from the excitement of the concert. Exactly.
Pass out from all the screaming because you couldn't hear the music.
Exactly.
And I think this is Australian.
Yeah, that
It
is
is.
Australian. Yeah.
Yeah.
Melbourne, I think.
I wish I had
Yeah.
one of those.
I think it says something on the bottom. Does it? Does it say?
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, Melbourne. I had a couple of others, but I sold them because they were cracked. This one's in good nick, very well looked after. Oops, not now. There we go. That's in good nick, that one. Bit of advertisement as well.
That's great. I've never seen that. That's Australian, obviously. Yeah.
That's from the 80s or 90s. Is that? So it was to do with promo of an album. I can't remember which one it was, but it's later than the 60s. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was promoting ABBA. ABBA's new song, ABBA's new album. Is that right, ABBA? I got a lovely tapestry of Abbey Road back there. I love that. That's beautiful.
That's great.
That's lovely. I went to a convention with and Pete Best was there, and so I've got Pete Best signing, and I didn't realise that when I got some of my mates were saying, "Do you know what you got him to sign?" If you look closely, the Beetle who didn't make it.
Oh, that's great.
He actually signed that. I didn't realize. I just wanted, hey, sign this. You know,
that's fantastic. Now, since we talk about Pete Best, I'm going to do something. I'm going to grab something off my wall since you mentioned Pete Best. Wait.
We've also got the old reel-to-reels.
Oh yeah.
Nice collection. Nice collection of reel-to-reel tapes. Their tapes are in there. I think the Abbey Road one is just the box, but I've got a good handful. I've also got the 8-tracks.
Right.
A good handful of the 8-tracks, but I've even got the 8-track machine to go with it because it looks good.
You can see that signed by Pete Best there in the photo, and you can see it's number 293 of 10,000. Since we mentioned Pete Best, I bought it on the net. I was lucky to buy it.
This is another Pete Best of mine.
Oh, that's a beauty, that one. That was when they got him into suits under Brian Epstein. So that's a great, fantastic photo.
Yeah, it's got the thing on the back as well, but that's beautiful. But then there's my favourite, meeting Pete Best there.
That's
lovely. It's beautiful guy. Just he wasn't Ringo. They needed Ringo, really. Boxes of matches. I don't know when these came out. I know they might have come out last week, but I've had them for a while. Just boxes of matches. Doesn't say much about where they're from. The pictures are fantastic of the decades.
Yeah, they're different.
I've never seen it.
This is from England. Sunday Citizen, and it's got Beatles on it.
Right. What date's on that?
It's from England, and it's February 23rd, 1964.
Oh, that's great.
Cost 6D. What's 6D?
6d. 6 pence on it.
6 pence. Okay.
Yeah.
Number 5916. Bombshell. Number 3. The Beatles. Hullabaloo. So I can just see all the senior citizens sitting, reading this and going, there's those hairy people with a noise.
Hey, Dallas,
Yeah.
can you just read just one paragraph off that article?
One autograph. Okay, bombshell. 12,000 scream their welcome. The Beatles flew back to the tumultuous welcome yesterday, all unaware they caused a blazing behind-scenes row at the London airport, still reeling last night from the invasion of 12,000 ravers. So 12,000 people turned up to see them land back from America, I think it is.
Yeah.
Fantastic.
First
There's some
talk to
great
America.
footage of people girls just fainting and everything up the top there. So it's a great picture. We're never going to see this sort of stuff ever again.
That's
No
right.
matter how many people say Justin Bieber's just like the Beatles. No. Unbelievable. I love how when a new band comes out and they get some people screaming, all they say is, oh, they're just like the Beatles. No, if you've got to compare it to the Beatles, you may as well just say the Beatles were it. And these aren't going to be nothing like the Beatles. Stupidity. Oh, here we go. The old pencil case.
Yeah.
Have you got the white one, Pat?
Pencils, and we got the eraser in there.
That's great.
I don't say rubber. You don't say rubber in Australia. That means something else.
I have to give you some bad news on those, Dallas. They're later reproductions.
I know they're repos, but geez, they look good.
Yeah.
I've got repos in my collection. Like for instance, I got the collection of the cups and saucers and the bowls and things. And I saw 2 jugs. They're slightly creamier color. I know they're fake, but they look good. They fill the collection out. So
they're nice though. Yeah, they have Liverpool underneath stamped.
Yes, they do. They do, and they fill it out. Looks good.
They were made in Australia. Yeah, but they're nice.
Were they really?
One. Yeah.
Wow. Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I expected them to be Philippines.
Whenever they tend to come up for sale, the plates and the pictures or jugs or whatever. I've actually got one with my UK Washington pottery because it's a real nice piece, the jug. So I bought one, and they always come up for sale in Australia. So yeah.
Now I've got to wind up. I'll just let you finish that sentence, Dallas.
What do you know about this?
Well, that is again another Philippines piece.
Little shampoo things.
Yeah, it's there was a box that came in a box. That's the lid of the box. By the look of it,
it's actually the whole box.
Oh, is it?
I
can see it there.
It's got the little shampoos in there.
Oh, I can see it. Yeah. Now that looks like an original one as well, because they were reproduced in the 70s, but the ones with the price on, the 10 cents, shows that it's an original one. Yeah, it's got the price on there. If you look at, there's a load on eBay, but they don't have the price on the reproductions, whereas that looks original. Yeah.
Now, Dallas, I've got to ask you, you got a fantastic collection out there. So glad to have you on the show. You as well, Pat. Now, if people want to contact you about your collection.
Well, if they're interested in buying the whole lot or more pictures, they can contact me at DallasAtkins1415 @gmail.com. And I can send them more photos and have a chat that way.